If you're having problems at work and your employer gives you the option of resignation or termination, you should almost always choose termination. Now, people are surprised by that, but there are a few, I can't think of any benefits that you would have in resigning. I can think of lots of downsides though, so I'm going to tell you about two of them. The first one is unemployment compensation. If you're going to be in between jobs, if there's even a chance that you might not get another job right away and need to collect unemployment, if you go to the employment office and say you quit, that's going to be a non-starter. You're probably not going to get unemployment compensation. And a lot of people don't know this, but when you apply for unemployment compensation, the first thing they do is call your employer and confirm the reason that you've given them for separating from the company. And if your employer confirms that you have quit, then it's pretty much game over. Now, what a lot of people will say as soon as they hear that is, well, there's this thing called constructive discharge, meaning you were forced out, meaning the situation was so bad that you were forced to quit. Let me tell you something. That is extremely hard to prove. Employment cases are hard enough as it is, but when you quit, there's been a wrongful termination, and you have to show that no reasonable person would have remained in that employment situation under the circumstances. That is incredibly hard to prove because it's so subjective. What might be unreasonable for one person is totally different, or maybe totally different for another person. So that's the burden of proof when you're trying to show constructive discharge. And let me tell you another more practical reason why that's going to be almost impossible to prove, especially when it comes to getting unemployment benefits. When you, again, apply for unemployment and they call your employer and ask why you left, do you think your employer is going to say, oh, the situation here was so horrible that they were forced out and they had no choice? It was constructive discharge. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to say you quit because that helps them. Again, it hurts you in terms of getting unemployment compensation, and a lot of people don't know this, but your employer pays part of that unemployment compensation. When they're paying taxes throughout your employment there, part of that goes for things like this, unemployment compensation. And the more that comes out of their pot, if you will, the employer's pot, the better chances that they will have to replenish it. So the money's already there because they've been paying it in taxes. But if you and other employees are getting the money, then it gets lower, and the employer might have to pay money. So they don't want you to get unemployment benefits for that reason. The second reason is, if you've been having problems at work, then there's a chance that you might sue them for wrongful termination. Well, if you quit, there's been no termination because you quit. And again, this when they give you the option to resign or to be terminated, they know all this. They're thinking about this. So if you resign, then your chances of prevailing in a wrongful termination lawsuit are even lower. It's hard enough as it is, but when you quit, it just isn't happening. Bottom line, I can't think of any good reasons for you to choose resignation instead of termination. Maybe there are some other outstanding circumstances, but generally speaking, I just don't know of any. So again, generally speaking, it's always better to choose termination instead of resignation. Your ego might feel better if you choose resignation, but that's about it.